Hello and welcome to episode number 26 of the Blue Water Running Podcast. I'm your host, Maren, and this podcast features and celebrates the achievements of high school and collegiate cross-country and track and field athletes from the Blue Water area of Michigan. Well, we're officially into championship season, and today's episode features sophomore Josh Macri of Macomb Lutheran North. Josh has been tearing up the grass this season and made significant time improvements. He came into the 2024 season with a personal best of 17:49 from his freshman season last year. Starting off this year with a statement. He finished second at the Lamplighter Invite in 16:32 and has since dropped his PR to 16:12. He won several invitationals, including the Lake St. Clair Earlybird Invitational, the Algonac Muskrat Classic, the Autumn Classic Invite, the Dakota Carnival of Races, and the Catholic High School League Jamboree, and has been runner-up at quite a few more. He was recently named to the Macomb All-County team for his 7th place finish at the county championships in 1629, leading his team to the small school D2 3-4 division trophy. To put Josh's improvement into perspective, he finished 74th there in 18 minutes and 37 seconds last year. He's currently ranked first in the D2 Region 17 by a solid 45 seconds. To top off the incredible season he's having, he also plays soccer in addition to running cross-country. We will chat with Josh about his season so far, the challenges of dual sporting, his factors for success and his goals moving forward, and get to know him personally as an athlete. Welcome to the Blue Water Running Podcast, Josh.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's talk about your season so far. So just recently at the Macomb County meet, you finished 7th, you earned all-county status. And if we compare that to last year, you were 74th. So that is an incredible improvement in a year. You've won several invitationals. You finished either first or second at the majority of your races this year. And if we're looking at your PR, it's a minute and a half faster than last year, and the season is not even over yet. We have some of the biggest races to come. So talk to us about what you think the main factors are that have contributed to your success this season so far.
Yeah, I think there's some major factors, especially over the summer. One thing was the consistency of my workouts, and like compared to freshman year, I was practicing a lot and focusing a lot more on soccer compared to cross country. But this year, soccer kind of took the backseat, and I was at cross country daily, and I was training every day throughout the summer, and I even went to an elite camp focusing on cross country for a week.
Do you know who Thomas Westfall is?
I've heard of him.
Okay, so he ran for Anchor Bay. He graduated last year. He's now a freshman at Michigan State. He played soccer pretty solely as his focus until I think his freshman year or so, and then focused a lot more on running and kind of had the same trajectory as you, like major improvement once he started focusing on cross country. So are you still playing soccer currently?
As of right now, no. I'm just going to be doing cross country from here on out.
Okay. But you were playing this season or this fall?
I was playing JV soccer.
Okay. So how did you balance the physical demands of that sport and your practices and your time schedule and games also with running cross country?
For the physical demand part of it, I've been playing travel soccer and doing a bunch of sports my entire life, so it wasn't too much of a problem for me to handle both. But it was a quite unique situation to be in, especially when I had to explain to both coaches what's going on. But they were more than supportive of me doing both sports. And whenever I had a practice, if I had a meet and a practice at the same day, the soccer coach was very gracious, and he let me go to meets and vice versa if there was a soccer game or cross country practice at the same time. And
well, that's good because it doesn't always work that way.
It doesn't.
No, it's nice to have both coaches on your side, so to speak.
Yes.
So I guess a personal question, if you had to answer which one is your favorite, can you make a definitive choice?
I don't know if I can, but as of right now, let's say cross country.
Okay. Well, let's talk about your training then. Okay, obviously you're doing your soccer practices or were. So talk about your cross-country training separate from that. Like what were you doing as far as weekly workouts or mileage, maybe a combination of how it all worked together if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, throughout the summer, I had a pretty consistent weekly mileage. I was running about 35 to 40 miles a week. But once soccer season started, it was kind of tough to be able to do both soccer practices and then go for a run. So I had to really balance it out, listen to my body. And but now that soccer season's done, I've been back to my normal weekly mileage with 35 miles a week plus a speed workout.
Where do you run most of your workouts?
Most of my workouts throughout the summer were at different parks like Riverbend and Stony Creek, but throughout our school season, it's basically just around our high school or on the track.
Okay. Now you probably had very different goals, I'm guessing, coming into this season perhaps than last. So talk to us
Yeah.
about what your specific goals were that you wanted to accomplish.
Yeah. Some of my goals this season were one is I wanted to break the sophomore record and I want to be all county at the county meet this year. So those are two of the goals I had coming into the season.
All right. Are there any that you're still looking to achieve that are coming up?
I would love to win the regional meet, and if I could be all state in Division Two, that'd be pretty cool.
Are you aware that you are currently ranked first in our region?
I am.
Do you feel any pressure about that?
I mean, I feel a little bit of pressure because I mean, there's an expectation from my team and from other people to to get first, but at the same time, I know I still have 2 more years, and I'm just gonna keep improving.
That's a really good perspective. Yes, you are still pretty young compared to those that are facing a senior year, right?
Yeah,
Well, how about your team goals? Do you guys have a goal as a team that you would like to achieve?
yeah. I mean, this entire season we've been focused on we're trying to win regionals, and at the very least, we know we can make it to states, but winning regionals would be a really cool accomplishment for our team.
Hmm. Yeah, we've got the two perennial powerhouses in our
Yeah.
region. That would
Yep.
be Yale and St. Clair. So,
Yep.
yeah, you probably know that. Um, and you also have a teammate right behind you.
Yep.
So, do you feel that that helps you be better in your races, knowing that somebody's pushing you?
Yeah. I mean, it's super cool having Xavier there and at that level, and it's really helpful on a
Yeah.
daily basis, also in training as well.
Yeah,
So
I'm sure it's nice to have somebody, at
it
your
really
pace
is.
too.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's talk about some of the successful elements in your life. So, we're going to talk about what works really well for you as far as training, nutrition, sleep. What are your go-tos that just help you do your best?
Yeah. I try to keep a consistent training plan with my mileage. I try to listen to my body. After workouts, in terms of sleep, I try to get a quick nap in, like an hour nap in, and before races, I try to get 8 hours of sleep the day before. And food wise, I would just suggest eating organic and homemade foods. I'm pretty fortunate that my grandma, she makes some really good food, and I'm always eating her food, and it's really good. It's organic, straight from the garden. So
Wow.
yeah,
So, give us a little taste, so to speak, of like what you like to eat that she makes.
her pasta is really good. Her salads,
Okay.
everything that she makes is really good.
Oh, yeah, that makes me hungry. I know home cooked food is kind of a rarity these days. So if you can have somebody that does that, that's awesome.
Yep.
All right, let's talk about your team. So you're a little different as far as your private school versus a public school. So what
Yeah.
do you like the most about your team?
About my team, I really like it's a really tight team. It's a really good uh group, really good group of guys, and everyone's out supporting each other. But I mean, in the end, we're a really competitive team, and we're really close. We're friends at this point, and it's just it's a blast to be with these guys every day.
What do you think is unique or different for Lutheran North versus a public school? Because you're pulling in kids from various districts who might want to attend there.
Yeah. It's really cool. At Lutheran North, there's the central focus is on God, and obviously it's a smaller school compared to some other Division One and other Division Two public schools. So it's really cool to be a part of. It's a really tight community at Lutheran North, and it's super fun.
Do you have any kind of chapel or service during the day?
We do.
Okay, is that part of your school day?
It is right after
Okay.
our third hour. We have
Okay.
a daily chapel.
Okay. I attended Spring Arbor University. That's a Christian private college, and we had chapel. It was required Monday and Wednesday. So I was just curious if you had that as well. So,
Yeah, we have it Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and then Wednesday devotion.
okay. Are any of your teachers clergy people as well? Like, are they pastors or ministers, or are they just teachers?
They're just teachers.
Okay. I was just wondering, some schools have like a priest or a nun or, a pastor that sometimes teaches classes too. So I was curious.
Yeah, no, we don't have that.
Okay. All right. Well, what is your favorite thing about cross country?
My favorite thing about cross country is um I really enjoy of being with all these other teams. I mean, everyone's super supportive of one another, and it's unlike any other sport, and it's super cool to be a part of. Um, Also, it's physically and mentally, it's a demanding sport, and it's super rewarding in the end. At the end of it,
What would you have to say is the worst thing?
the worst thing, um, before my races, getting those pre-race nerves, it's kind of annoying to deal with, but it makes it
hmm
worth it in the end.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I would agree. That's one of the detriments of cross country.
Yep.
Well, what is something that your coach really focuses on or emphasizes to your cross country team?
He really emphasizes consistency of our training. He tells us to train smart, to listen to our body. You know, you don't become super fast and improve overnight. It's a consistent process, and it takes a while, but just got to put the work in.
hmm Agreed. Very good advice. Um, does the same coach that is coaching your team also coach the girls' team?
No, we have two different coaches. The
Okay.
the person that coaches the girls team is our track coach.
Okay. Gotcha. I wasn't sure if you had one for both or.
He has different
Okay.
guy.
Okay. All right. Well, let's talk about you as a person and some of your favorites. So, do you have a favorite cross country and or track race or meet that you really like?
My favorite meet, it was one this year, was at Goodall's, the Brooks Midseason Spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
I tried my PR. That's a super fun course. It's flat majority of it. Obviously, there's some hills, but majority of the course is flat.
Yep. How about track? Do you have anything you liked from track?
Track, I really like running at our home meets. I think it's really cool running in front of all these people
Mm-hmm.
that then you see every day at school.
Yeah.
So
Get a
cool
home crowd.
experience. Yep.
Yeah. All right. What is something that you enjoy eating post workout or post race? It's a food that you would say this is, my treat.
Ooh, chicken tenders. I love
Mm,
chicken.
okay. Favorite dessert?
Cookies and cream ice cream. Can't go
Oh
wrong with
yeah.
that.
Okay, you came right off the gate with that one. No hesitation.
Yep.
Do you have a favorite TV show or movie or both?
um, my favorite show is Shark Tank, and my favorite movie is McFarland USA.
Oh, I love McFarland.
Yep.
Is there a runner out there that doesn't like McFarland? If you're
I don't know.
listening and you don't like McFarland, don't tell me. I don't want
Exactly.
to know. It's so good.
It is.
Okay. What is your favorite type of music or artist?
I have two favorite bands. One is Imagine Dragons, and
Okay.
this other one's a Christian band. It's called For King and Country.
Oh, yep. I know who they are. So funny story about For King and Country. Have you seen any of the movies they've made?
I have not.
Okay, so they just released a movie about their family. They came from Australia. And so I grew up listening to their older sister, who is Rebecca
Wow.
St. James. Um, and then I didn't know they were related because they don't have the same last name. Like she had like a stage name or, an artist
Yeah.
name, and then found out it was like, oh, so it was all connected. But it's a really good movie.
Yeah.
Um, all right. Do you have a favorite professional athlete? And it does not have to be a runner, but it could be that you like to follow.
My favorite professional athlete is Steph Curry.
Okay. Uh,
Um,
do you play basketball? Are you a three-point shooter?
I do.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Oh, I skipped favorite book. Sorry. Do you have a favorite book? No pressure if you don't.
Um, my favorite book is the Bible. It's the cornerstone of my faith. It's what I rely on when I'm having troubles or anything. I just come back to that.
All right. It's also the best-selling book in the world. So if you didn't know that, yeah. Okay. So if you're not running, if you're not racing, if you're not training, maybe you have downtime or off season, what do you like to do that has nothing to do with running?
I'm always playing other sports, so if it's soccer or basketball or whatever I could play, like if I'm playing volleyball with my sister, I'm always playing some sort of sport. My
Okay.
downtime.
Okay. You like to be active.
Yep.
All right. Well, speaking of being active, let's say you're traveling the world. It's time to go for a run. Where would you go? Where would you run? And who would you like to run with? And they could be living or it could be a historical figure from the past.
If I could run anywhere, I would love to run. It's a town outside of Rome, Italy. It's where my grandma grew up. There's a bunch of hills, and I think it'd be really cool to run there. And if I could run with anyone, um, it would be Rocky Balboa and Apollo Creed.
Okay. That's a little throwback there. So,
Yep.
yep. Well, once again, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast. You are definitely not done with your season yet. I think some big things are going to happen, but man, you've had a great fall so far. Super huge improvements, really big, exciting things. So, like you said, consistency is key.
Mhm.
Listening to your body, all good things. And look what it's done. It's brought you some success this year. So,
Thank you.
yeah. Well, I look forward to seeing you at regionals and I wish you the best. And I'm sure I'll see you at state.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Once again, thank you so much for tuning into today's Blue Water Running podcast. I can't wait to feature more cross country and track and field athletes from the Blue Water area. So stay tuned because it just might be you. Coverage on Blue Water Running is sponsored in part by Elite Feet of Port Huron. If you need running shoes, spikes, or apparel, they have a friendly and knowledgeable staff to help you find just the right fit, and they're big fans of running too. They are located at 327 Huron Ave in downtown Port Huron. If you are interested in sponsoring coverage or partnering with Blue Water Running as an advertiser to reach and support local runners, please reach out via the website, show notes, or social media channels. If you enjoyed today's podcast, please share, subscribe, and leave a review. You can find the Blue Water Running podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and any other major media player. You can also ask your smart speaker to play the Blue Water Running podcast. If you have an idea for a great topic or guest that you would like to hear about, feel free to contact me through the website links or show notes. You can follow Blue Water Running on Instagram, X, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. You can also find meet and athlete reports and articles at www.bluewaterrunning.org.